Most people think becoming a millionaire starts with making a lot of money. But the first lesson comes much earlier, learning how to manage money when you have almost none. If you cannot manage $100 well, earning $10,000 will not automatically teach you how to manage it. When you start from zero, you may not have investments, businesses, or valuable assets. But if you have income, you already have something extremely important: cash flow. Think of your income as the beginning of a financial flow. The moment money arrives, it starts moving toward different destinations. The problem is not simply how much you earn. The problem is what happens to that money after you receive it. Two people can earn exactly the same income and still build completely different financial futures.
One person receives money and immediately turns most of it into consumption.
The other person gives each part of the income a specific purpose before spending the rest.
The difference is not always the size of the paycheck. Often, it is the amount of money that remains after everything is paid.
To manage money, start with three simple questions: how much came in, how much went out, and where exactly did it go? You do not need a complicated spreadsheet at first. Simply separate your money into essential expenses, flexible spending, debt, savings, and investments. Once you can see the flow, look for the biggest leaks. Small expenses matter, but large recurring expenses often matter much more. A single large recurring expense can sometimes have a bigger impact than cutting dozens of tiny purchases. Housing and transportation are powerful examples, because one decision can create many recurring costs. Instead of saving whatever happens to remain at the end of the month, reverse the process and save a portion first. Automation removes the need to make the same financial decision every month. The system simply moves part of your income before you have a chance to spend it.
The amount does not need to be impressive at first. Consistency matters more than appearance.
The next priority is building a financial buffer. An emergency fund is not designed to make you rich quickly. It is designed to keep one unexpected event from destroying your progress. A broken car, a medical bill, or a temporary loss of income can happen at any time. A reserve gives your financial plan room to absorb these shocks. After creating basic stability, expensive debt deserves serious attention because interest can consume the money that could otherwise become your capital. Reducing high-cost debt does not feel like investing, but it can dramatically improve your future cash flow. And when the debt payment disappears, do not allow that cash flow to disappear with it. Redirect it toward your future. Once your financial foundation is stable, part of your surplus can be directed toward long-term assets that match your goals, risk tolerance, and time horizon. But investing does not mean chasing the fastest possible return. Markets can fall, values can fluctuate, and liquidity can become a sensible investment approach depends on your risk tolerance, diversification, liquidity needs, and the amount of time you can leave the money invested. Imagine your income increases. The smartest response is not necessarily to increase every expense. Let part of the increase strengthen your financial position. This is how you prevent lifestyle inflation from consuming every raise, bonus, or new source of income. The goal is not to deny yourself every improvement in lifestyle. The goal is to make sure your assets grow alongside your income. Managing money does not mean ignoring income. Increasing your earning power can be extremely valuable. Learn better skills, negotiate. The ideal combination is simple. Increase the money coming in while controlling how much flows out.
A person with a very high salary can still have weak finances if almost everything leaves the system. A person with moderate income financially stronger.
Looking rich and being wealthy are not the same thing. Visible consumption can be impressive, while real financial strength remains almost invisible. Real wealth is built through ownership, reserves, investments, businesses, property, or other assets that can create value over time. The mindset shift is simple. Instead of asking only, "What can I buy?" start asking, "What can this money help me own in the future?" The goal is not to stop spending. It is to give your money a deliberate destination. A simple financial system can follow a clear sequence: manage income, control expenses, create a surplus.
The difference between financial stagnation and financial progress can begin with something as simple as creating a gap between what you earn and what you spend. At first, the surplus may look insignificant. But repeated contributions turn small amounts into capital, and
Capital can then be used to acquire assets, and assets can potentially generate additional value or income over time.
This is the wealth building cycle. Earn, manage, create a surplus, protect it, invest it, and repeat.
You do not need to start with $1 million. Start with the first 100, then the first 1,000, then the first 10,000.
You do not need a complicated strategy at the beginning. You need a sequence that you can repeat. The process is simple. Know your income, track your spending, create a surplus, protect it, reduce expensive debt, and invest according to your situation.
A strong financial system should also be flexible. When income falls, reduce flexible spending first and protect the foundations that keep you stable. When income recovers or increases, direct part of that improvement toward rebuilding reserves and growing assets rather than immediately restoring every previous expense. Building wealth is usually not one dramatic decision. It is the result of many ordinary financial decisions repeated for years. Over time, the objective is not simply to have a higher income. It is to build enough financial capacity and assets that your money starts giving you more choices. Financial strength is not always visible. The person who looks less wealthy may actually have more financial freedom. If you want to become a millionaire, do not begin by asking how to make $1 million. Begin by asking what you are doing with the money you have today. You do not need to begin with $1 million. You need to begin with the first dollar you can manage well. Earn it, manage it, protect it, invest it when appropriate, and repeat the process. Because before you learn how to make millions, you must first learn how to manage the money you have. That is the first lesson on the road to becoming a millionaire.